we are. All right, so we're back. Winter Wolf Stand is back. King Z over there on that side. Winter Wolf right here, and it's Welcome to Derry. Welcome to Derry finale, season 1. Just dropped.
Season 1.
This is it, dude. I mean, this is definitely going to be in our year-end show, possible series of the year. I think we also might have it in the horror entry of the year. I don't know. It's up against some stiff competition, but let's dive into this episode, dude. Let me get you 2 opinions first. I 2 questions. I need 2 opinions from you. Did they stick the landing? And how was this as an individual episode of the show?
I do believe they stuck the landing. It did open up a lot of the lore of the Pennywise dimensional creature. And I believe that it was a good episode. I did see where some people might have some nitpicks about it, but I don't see the nitpicks. And after seeing how they filmed it, I liked it even more.
Expand on that. What nitpicks do you think people, air quote, Winter Wolf have?
The pushing of the stone.
Okay. That was not a nitpick of mine. I actually like that. I'll throw that right out there.
What's cool is how they
cheesy.
filmed
They earned it. They earned it. But are you talking about on a technical level? You mean like style-wise? What do you mean how?
So they actually connected it to a device that made it hard for them to push. Like they were really pushing with all of their might on it. They had like 1,000 pounds on it at one point, so it wouldn't move when they pushed
like a tackling sled set up, and what they see,
yeah,
they green screened it out.
It was painted green.
We've said it before. This show was like F them kids. They're making them work for it in this one. But I like that scene. We'll talk about that when we get to the end, because I feel like I've seen some criticism too early on in some comment sections about how it was a little too cheesy, the angle they went to pull it off. I'm like, dude, but it was earned though. I mean, it was some typical losers club thing. They had already played with the concept that nobody ever really dies in Derry. That doesn't mean that people don't physically permanently die. It means like spirits are around. That's clearly what it's meant all along.
Yeah.
And I thought they really earned that. They picked the right character to be able to do the things that were done. It's a good payoff for the group of kids in that scene. I thought it was good. I thought it was nice. Definitely not a nitpick for me.
All right, well, let's roll that little warning.
They all died. They weren't all in hell. It wasn't limbo. This wasn't a lost situation. Y'all don't have to worry about that. It wraps up, I think, in a logical way, the story they were telling for the season. So I'll give them credit for that. The kids, I think, got better every episode. And I'm not sure if maybe that was a direction thing or they got more comfortable doing the job thing, or maybe both. They're all kind of young. I don't know anything about any of their backgrounds, honestly. So I'm not sure who's new to the game and who's not. I think the kid that played Will has been in some other stuff. I remember like pre-screening this show like months ago. We were like, oh, he was in this, and this kid might have been in that, but I don't remember. So I feel like the kids got better. The adults, if I've got a gripe with the show, I guess it's the adults really didn't land anything significant for me. Like none of them, except maybe Halloran. Maybe Dick was all right. And of course, Pennywise, he's clutch.
I think Rose did really good, especially with the death of Taniel.
That was good. That was nice.
That good emotional beat there.
Yep, that was solid. But I mean, that was like a 20-second scene, and she was in 6 out of the 8 episodes. I mean, I don't know. Was it standout moment? Maybe. Was it high quality? Gonna win her an award? I don't know. Maybe
no, won't win her an award, but I think she did just fine.
Yeah, she was. I mean, the adults were fine. The kids, I think, did, like I was saying, the kids, I think, elevated, because I remember early on, I was like, this seems kind of stilted. Some of the dialogue is busted, but if that's a writing thing, that's a writing thing. You can't hold, especially kid actors, let alone actors. You can't hold kid actors responsible for a shit script.
And like a lot of this is centered around the kids. So I mean, the whole series, other than part 2, where it was the kids from 1989 coming back to fight him later as he was still looking for Georgie.
Yeah, 100%. It's Stand By Me with demons. I mean, that's what this story is. So of course it's kid centric. It's good. I'll say this. I watched, through the end of the credits, and I liked it. I feel like this is a thing now where people play with the what's coming next at the end of their credits, because I think Marvel did this, where the Avengers will return in, Thanos will return in. They hit you with that last
Mm,
little whatever thing. So this one they put up the Welcome to Derry logo on the screen, and then it fades in chapter one, and then everything else fades out and just leaves chapter one on the screen. I'm like, it's a nothing beat, like, it's not important, but I thought it was cool. They're like,
mm.
"Oh, they really are trying to wrap this into something really big." Like, this is a money project for HBO, like, for Warner Brothers or whoever makes this.
Yeah,
Like,
2
this is
it's
something this thing can cash into.
yeah, the 2nd and 3rd season have both been greenlit
Yeah.
now.
And I think that they spent a solid 10 minutes at the end of this episode after, like, after the big conclusion of how they defeat the clown. They spend like legit 10 minutes setting the stage of, like where Marge reveals the things that Pennywise said to her in the fog about how he exists outside of time and it's past, present, and future are all the same thing, and who she really is. Kudos to you. I believe you called that, by the way,
That
when
was
the
the
Marge character
Oracle.
was
It was the
the
Oracle
Oracle called it.
or Lauren, one of the 2. It was one of
Oh,
our
okay.
female
Lauren from the
viewers that
chat.
pulled
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
yeah.
Nicely done, ladies. Good call. You guys were spot on with who Marge is. Um, I think it's an odd choice. I mean, why not just have Lily be that character? She was the lead. It kind of, it might have made more
No,
sense, but
because I
why
believe
not?
Lily is Bev's mother, the one who commits suicide.
Oh, that's right. And they wrapped on that as well. Spoiler: we already put the thing. That was a great scene too. It was nice seeing the de-aged. The hell is that girl's name? She was in the D&D movie. They had to have de-aged her, right? I mean, she's years older than she was
I
when
think they just
chapter
did that with I
two
think
came
they
out.
did that with makeup because she
Really?
has a naturally young face.
She does it. She is kind of
Yeah, they
cherubic, however you say that. She's round, like round features, big
mm,
cheeks.
yeah,
She
so
looks
they
bad.
probably
But
did that with makeup.
yeah, that was a nice little, and again, I feel like that's something Marvel kind of beat to death, having that post-credit scene, that little wrap-up stingery kind of scene, but it was good here. It worked, and it really connected nicely these series that they're gonna put on streaming into the movies, which, if like them or not, they were both really big hits. So it was
Mhm,
nice to see that connect like that. But I like you were talking about, they're expanding the lore here in a way that hasn't yet taken away from the menace that is Pennywise, where he's telling her
mm,
flat out, I'm tomorrow, I'm yesterday, it's all the same, I'm just hungry. Like, I get that
mm,
that's a force of, like, hunger and entropy,
and like you said, it was like,
right?
"He's gonna be responsible for my death, or is it
Uh,
my birth? It's all the same."
I I don't know, he's could do quietly menacing, but I was telling Mrs. Wolf, I did has the Oracle read, has she not read, has she seen all of these episodes? She was watching all of
Mhm,
this, right? As okay.
mhm.
So I know sometimes she doesn't vibe with the horror, but I wasn't sure if she had caught it all. But I was telling Mrs. Wolf, I'm glad they didn't cheap out and recast Pennywise for this show. This
Well,
dude's
he was
performance
gonna
is
walk
sick.
away.
It
He was gonna walk
however
away
they
'cause
got him back.
yeah, they had to work with him because he did not wanna come back and do this, and they talked him
I don't
into
blame
it.
him. I mean, I don't blame him, whether or not they had to back up the Brinks truck or show him what they had in store for like a 2, 3 season deal. I get it. If you're a film actor, you like to do multiple projects in a year and kind of keep your name out there. Filming for TV
And some of
locks
them
you into
like to
place.
walk away from a role and not
Right.
always be
And
tied back to it.
right. Because this is his third turn in the role. You know what I mean? After
Mhm,
2 features. So now, I mean, depending on, I think a lot of people that thought this was going to be more of a prequel that addressed, the things that happened around Pennywise, and it wasn't going to be clown heavy.
mhm,
That
mhm.
theory's right out the window. This
Yep,
shit's stupid clown heavy. He's central role, and he's gonna be the central role in
and then
season
that's
2,
2.
central antagonist. Right,
2 and 3.
right. Because it's just gonna touch on each of those other events that we've talked about from the opening credits of the show. There's
Yeah.
no way around that now.
So, I know they marked it as a prequel, like, on the sign and everything, a prequel to it and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
but is it really a prequel? Because it could be a sequel if
Yep.
he sees all timelines at the same,
From
and he's
dude,
trying to go back and
dude,
stop his
no.
destruction.
I gotta hit you with an Obi-Wan, dude, from a certain point of view. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It could be a side quel. It's
yeah,
likely gonna be a side quel for us when we get into some of the other main events that he's around during his
mhm,
his feeding cycles.
yeah.
But no, this episode, I feel like I don't wanna say it was rushed, right? But I feel like they knew they had about an hour and 10 minutes, and that's all they were gonna get. So after they wrapped episode 1 with Will being taken, they were like, "No, we're gonna just pedal this all the way down, max gas, gonna go for it." Pennywise rolls into town, basically smokes out everybody. All the adults just
Mm.
disappear. I don't can't explain that.
Or that they
Um,
became like too happy. Like
something,
it was
I don't
taking
know.
like
There was
them over.
that one creepy chick looking out the door at the screaming mother with her baby. That was weird. But he deadlights all of the kids in the gym and is basically Pied Pipering them out of town to go eat them after he escapes the gate. And like that's your setup.
Mm.
So like, okay, so your tension level is already it was here because he took Will, and now it's like it's over there because we're out of kids. Like
Dude,
town's out of kids.
how was that opening scene in the
Nasty,
gymnasium?
nasty.
Dude, that was awesome. I was
It was sick.
loving it.
Yeah, dudes, for real, dude. That's what I'm saying, dude. They've upped everything menacing about this kid. Dude, they upped his appearance, which I thought was brilliant. So it's like new
Yeah.
costume because he's got the soaked in blood.
Yeah,
Dude,
because
that's
he
an
was going to
iconic look
sleep
now.
and he
Right.
woke up.
That's now an iconic look with the half red blood covered face and the blood
Yeah.
and the blood soaked suit. That's out there now. You know what I mean? People will remember that. That's visually like unsettling, unnerving. I don't know the word you want to use, but like he's grabbing the principal's like spine and using him like a puppet.
Yeah,
And then when he reveals
as
himself,
soon as I saw him
it's crazy.
talking like that, I was like, "Oh, he's marionetting him or,
Right, dude, it was
puppeting."
crazy. Dude, man, it was South Park. It was Canadians on South Park there with his
Yeah.
gums flapping. But like, "Hi, kids, I'm Pennywise." Dude rips his head apart,
And then
right? Rips his
punts
head
it,
off, and
and he
then
gets
punts it
good
out the
distance.
window.
It
Right,
gets
dude,
good
dude,
distance
dude,
on it.
split the uprights, and then
Yeah,
the kids find it later, which is just wild, right?
which
That's
is
some effed up
awesome.
stuff, right?
That's how you tie it together. That's how
Right.
I knew he got good distance. I'm like, "He doesn't good
Oh, dude,
distance
they
on
were
that
down the
punt."
street. They
I'm
were
like,
down
"The
the street at the
Jets
Milk
might
Depot.
sign him because they
Dude,
need
I
a
think they
punter."
should. They should. Dude, somebody put out a call to that guy's agent. But like, dude, yeah, dude, he's a menacing ass like buffoon. Like he's a clown. He's a court jester. So he's a dancing
Mhm.
clown. But like everybody that crosses his path finds out. So it's not like there's no. It's not. He's not Freddy Krueger in 2025. Like he says dopey stuff, punts a guy's severed head, and then kills everybody else at moments. Like nobody sucker punches him and runs away. Like Nancy or Sidney Prescott, they don't get to kick Pennywise in the balls like Ghostface and then run away and live
Yeah.
to fight another day. Like, no, you're boned. It's it. It's over.
Like,
You
even
know, I like that.
the one kid who got away back in 1908 got his.
You know what I'm saying?
I
This is what I'm
remember that.
saying.
I never forget a smell.
Exactly, dude. And he again got his face eaten.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like shit happens. I mean, I don't know what compelled that dude to walk out onto the ice unarmed and without his armed guard, but
He's a ge
Pennywise, he can do
he's
some
a
shit.
he's a general. Generals don't they have a sidearm. They're not usually carrying rifles.
Dude,
And
pull
once
the gun.
again and once
Air Force.
again, Air
Air
Force.
Force.
Air
Air Force.
Force.
Yeah. Okay. Which brings me to my major point of contention with this show.
Don't do crack.
Yes, that brings me, gentlemen, that brings me to the next point. Don't smoke crack. There we go. A little LT joke for y'all. Let us know in the comments if you get the movie reference. You guys will. I like the kid wrap up. I want to split this part of the discussion in two halves. So if the kid's wrapped up nicely, Lily visits her father's grave, which is super nice. Dad, I'm sorry I haven't been here, but I made some friends and I'm happy. I'm better now.
Mhm.
Awesome, right? Ronnie's on the lam, I guess, with her dad. That ending was always going to be weak for me because I'm like, you're just going to drive out of town in broad daylight after the fucking Air Force had you under like armed custody. You think they're just going to let you go? Okay, whatever. But Ronnie's happy. She has her little first kiss with Will. That was a cute little kid scene. Will's
Mhm.
got his family back. He's got his parents' respect because he muscled through and saved the day, did the dad thing. Nice little father son scene, by the way. That was
Mhm.
solid. I don't want you to be me. I just want you to be you. That's the Miles Morales shit from Spider-Verse. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I was digging
I
that.
love you.
Yep, same. So, dude, superpower activated. Like that's all it takes, guys. That's all it takes, dads. That's it. Just say the shit. Say the thing. Who else? I got Lily, Marge presiding over Richie's funeral. Appropriate. Nice
Mhm.
words said there about there's no such thing as good friends and bad friends. It's just friends and the people you have, which was nice. But the adult endings, dude. The only one that vibed with me was Dick Halloran. Right? I like that whole, oh, a friend's gonna get me a job at a hotel. I'm like, oh, what's the worst that can go wrong at a hotel? I'm like, oh, dude, until you find out, bro.
Yeah,
Good luck.
until
That
you
accident
find
gut's
out.
gonna tell you different. So I like that he's like, that the Richie's parents are asking him, "Well, who are you, by the way?" And he's like, "I'm still working on that."
Yeah.
Solid.
And
That's a
that's
nice
the
little
part
ending.
that changed him too. You
Yep.
you have to think, like, he was ready to commit suicide at the beginning of
Yeah.
this to make the voices stop. And
Yep.
then when he saw what Richie did,
Yep.
it changed him when he says, "I'm
Inspired
seeing
him.
a miracle." It was like,
Yep.
and that's when he realized maybe he could help people
Yep.
instead of just, getting by and
Yep.
using his gifts for, well, technically personal gain for
It was
special
personal gain. His
privileges.
special privileges. That's right. He wasn't. It wasn't altruistic at all. Right.
Mm,
And he was working. I mean, unknowingly, probably on a program that was going to endanger people, get
yeah,
people killed as they find out. But yeah, the Air Force wrap up. I don't buy literally any of that. Right. The general's dead. Right.
General's dead.
General's
Colonel
dead.
should have been shot. I said he's shoot him. Shoot him now,
Shoot him.
Dick.
You
Shoot him,
got him now.
Dick.
Now's the chance. But here's the thing: the rest of that crew, the rest of that squad, whatever that fire team, whatever the word is you guys use in the Air Force, right? They're all alive. At what point do they cede you leaving and then let the story ending be baked in a way where Hanlon Senior says, "Well, in exchange for keeping my mouth shut, they're just going to let me retire out of the army, and Dick's going to go too, and no one's going to have to answer for the
Air
death of
Force.
the general."
He was
Air
not
Force, sorry,
Army.
sorry,
So
Air Force too.
all those people be dead if
Sorry,
they was
Army guys,
Army.
Air Force.
Yep. All those
Okay,
people be dead if those were Army shooters.
all our Army viewers, my bad.
Yep.
Um, I just it's too easy of a wrap up there. Like they had multiple guys that were alive that witnessed the two other guys, and harboring the escaped murder fugitive guy. It no, it's like the end of National Treasure. Sorry, dude, someone's gonna go to jail.
Hmm.
It's just the way it is. Patsy the Colonel. Dude, I'm saying Patsy the Colonel. Even whatever you want to do, it was just too neat. It
Yeah,
didn't feel
it probably
it didn't
would.
feel like King. It didn't feel like
Actually, it
Stephen
felt a
King to
lot
me.
like King, just King
No, I
doesn't
mean,
know how to finish anything. So
yeah, but no, dude, it felt like the wrong kind of King, man. It felt like the end of Shawshank Redemption, where it's like people got the happy ending, and I'm like, this is it though. There is no happy ending. You've already told us there's going to be more bad shit coming. We
yeah,
know what happens to this kid's parents and grandparents.
yeah, they
You know,
but they get 27 years of
yeah.
reprieve.
And Rose says that. To be fair, Rose does say that when she's asking them, "You've been through the craziness. Do you want to stay here and help, or are you going to bounce?" And they're like, "Let's see."
Since this was more centralized on the kids and their
Yeah,
story than the adult story, I don't think they needed to wrap up the Air Force story other than it's going to be a cover up
yeah,
because it wasn't the central part of the story. The people were.
true, true.
So
Fair
we
point.
saw
Fair
what
point.
happened to all the people. Now, if they should have mentioned what happened to the colonel, like the colonel has to take the fall and stuff
That's
like
what I
that.
mean. Again, we say that all the time, man. It only takes one or two lines that really just lock everything up in a way that just puts all the
Yeah.
naysayers out. I'm not a naysayer on the show, you know this, right?
Mm.
I was just saying to Mrs. Wolf earlier because she was saying a couple people thought there were some bad episodes, but overall good. I'm like, dude, they were all good episodes. There were like two sequences with bad effects, and that's it.
There,
That
there,
I
there, were, there was a little bit of disbelief that you would have to get some of them to happen. So other than that,
in episode 7 last week I
yeah,
had that. But I mean, like, was it a bad episode? It was not my favorite episode, but it's still not craft wise bad. I don't think.
mm,
Like it still looked good, sounded good, performed good. It just they like you said they suspended
mm,
all of my disbelief in that
yeah.
episode to get it done.
The other good thing about the next two seasons too that I want to hammer out is that they have the same
Yeah,
director for both those episodes
is
too.
it the
So
machetes again? Same
yeah,
guy? Yeah,
yep,
yeah, yeah.
same guy. So he's coming back for both of
Yeah,
the seasons. So that way it will
sure.
have consistency as well
Yeah.
instead of
Dude,
flipping directors who has a different vision.
I mean, I think we've seen this before in like in two of the other shows that we really enjoyed. I think Andor overwhelming. It didn't have the same director, but Tony Gilroy is on top of that series, so
Yeah.
everything feels the same. It's not like we get with Mandalorian or She Hulk, where it's just guest director, guest writer, all 8 episodes of both, and you're like, what's the cohesion here? You know what I mean? Not even within the story, but just like in the look, in the style, in the tone. One episode's a rom com, the other episode's a fucking teen drama, another episode's the gritty crime. Like, no, Welcome to Derry legit felt like a 5-hour movie or 6, whatever the number is. Bro, no, actually, no, 10 hours, I guess, because some of these ran
Mm,
long, but split into normalized chapters of a book where each ending of an episode informed what was going to come next and left you waiting for Sunday. We've said that. Like, dude, is it
mm.
Sunday? We're watching Robin Hood. We're watching Welcome to Derry. Here we go. You know? So I'm glad that they have that consistency that you're talking about. It's going to serve them well As
Yeah,
long as they, I mean,
it
with no
definitely will.
original source to draw from, it's gonna be interesting to see where they take the story because how many more times can they do group of kids in period piece encounter clown? Like, where do
And
you think they go with that?
so the next one is gonna be around the, was it the gang shootout?
Yeah,
Is it's
the
they're all gonna be centered around those, big things, the iron mill in 1908 that blew
yep,
up, that
yep.
explosion, and then the shootout, which actually, if you really look into the lore, Derry, Maine is based off of Bangor, Maine, which actually had a gang shootout in the
Oh, get out
middle
of
of, Main
on Main
Street.
Street?
Yeah,
Nice.
because they
Cool.
were the first. There was a lot of accidents. Like what made Bangor, Maine was the logging industry. There's a lot of
Yep.
accidents due to alcohol, a lot of fighting due to alcohol because of the workers in the lumber mills and stuff
For
like
sure, for
that.
sure.
So they were the first during Prohibition, the first city to outlaw alcohol. They
Oh,
were the
pro
very first.
prohibition,
Yeah,
prohibition.
prohibition. Yeah, not
Yep.
probation,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I was like, "Wait,
prohibition.
what?" Yeah, I gotcha, I
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. They were the first ones to outlaw alcohol in the United States.
Oh, get outta here. And
But they had a big gang presence, and all the underground tunnels that they based off his lair
oh,
was
smugglers tunnels.
were smuggler tunnels and speakeasies and stuff
Yep,
like that underneath
cool.
the city for and then there was a huge, I forgot the name of the guy. I watched a thing on it today, but it's a lot of the events that Pennywise is responsible for in
Yeah, yeah,
Derry
yeah.
actually happened in Bangor,
Yep.
Maine.
So what you're saying is Pennywise is basically evil Forrest Gump, is what he was just there. He
Yeah,
was probably the cause of some of this shit. Cool,
yeah.
I can dig that vibe. But, then having said that, and now knowing what you just shared, then I hope the story that we get in season 2 focuses exclusively on a group of adult cast that have to deal with alcoholism, seeing shit, prohibition, all the stuff that goes along
Was
with that vibe of the time.
is it
It
1935? Yeah,
it should
1935
be
is the
it's
next
prep.
one.
Then I hope that's the vibe. I really don't need another group of kids again. Like I was already skeptical of that coming into the show because we had already done that for a couple of feature length films recently, and everybody loved those kid characters. I grew to love these kid characters here, but I don't. There's only so many times you can unpack the whole the grown-ups don't believe me thing. And luckily, I think they wisely avoided that here, where they're just like, no, we're gonna show the adults there's some weird shit out there, and everybody just
Mhm.
is like, oh, fucking hey, we're in trouble. The clown's gonna kill us.
Yeah. So with this one, they said that the one of the gunmen looked like Bob Gray when
Oh,
they
okay,
were shooting everybody up. So
cool, cool. Pennywise would be into it. If fear, anger, apathy, like that. His hollandaise sauce. That's it's
yeah.
the topping there. So I could see that. You got anything else you want to add to the episode here, like finale wise?
So
Something
I
you were
think
hoping that happened that didn't? Anything missing?
no, I don't think nothing was missing. I think we have new nightmare fuel from this one with Pennywise with wings. I thought that was a
Oh yeah,
great
dude.
scene.
Whew.
But
Dude,
of
love seeing him
course,
as not a spider. Loved seeing him as not a spider.
yeah,
Yeah, that works.
his little effect where he with the general where he
Yep,
turns into the creature that scared him,
pretty
which
solid.
was pretty solid. I liked that.
Pretty solid.
Like I said, the nitpick that I was hearing from people was like how hard was them to push that stone to get it
That's
to the
ridiculous.
tree to
Should have been.
reconnect everything. But it was
Yeah,
also at if you think about it, it's like the rubber band at its longest point where
yeah,
it's trying to pulling back to because it doesn't want to
yeah.
be stretched that long. Like Stretch Armstrong, he had a
Dude,
point where you just couldn't stretch him anymore.
Dude, but they set that up and they explained that early on. Rose told them the farther
Mm,
something gets away from home, the more it resists, the more it wants to go
More
back.
go back,
So,
yeah.
right. So the dagger knew it wasn't supposed to be there, and it was actively resisting them to make it interesting for them for
Mm.
them to set up the Richie moment. And I called that a mile away when you saw Richie run past the spirit of the Native American war chief. I'm like, he's gonna run by this clown and flip him the fucking bird. I guarantee it. And then sure as shit, dude. Whoop. I was like, yeah. Get
Everyone
him.
everyone is posting that as that is the moment of the
Yeah.
finale is that
He
one.
ran by, dude. Dead. It's like dead kid with a smile, flipping him the bird,
Mm,
dude. And then, dude, Richie putting his hands on his parents' shoulders or something. That
yeah.
was wild. At his funeral there. I'm like, that's good. But Dick seen him, smiled, went over to the parents, talked to him, was like, that those hands you feel on your shoulders. They're like, wait, what? It's your son. You're gonna be okay. He's here. He's never gonna be not there. That was solid. Nice little. Nice
You
little
know,
bit there.
a bit of
Uh,
closure for the
it was.
family, because I
Yep.
mean, you lost a kid. I mean, that's probably the hardest thing a parent would
Yeah.
ever go through is losing a
Brutal.
kid.
Fucking brutal. You don't
So,
even think you can't think about it day to day because it is scary and not getting out of bed.
yeah.
No, I'm not down for that. Yeah, I wouldn't be an episode of a review if I didn't get at least one grippy gripe out of the way. I gotta get you with one, and I want your take on it, right?
Okay.
When we first see Lily with the dagger in the sewer, going back a couple episodes, right?
Okay.
The dagger is where? It's in the water between her
Yep.
and the clown, right? It freezes him in place and then repels him. He
Mhm.
runs away from it. How can it be in this episode when three girls have the dagger on the ice? He's zippity doo dah running by them and pulling Marge out of. Why is he not frozen into terror at being confronted with with this dagger at close range this time?
So the two reasons I can think of is proximity to the cage that they built him in, because
Okay.
when it happened in the past, we're going back to like he's first landing, he
Yeah.
was close to the original crate that he was sent to Earth in.
Yeah.
So
The meteor, right?
it might have
Yeah.
had a little bit more reaction to him. Here with the door open and him getting more
Okay.
power, it might
Okay.
he might have had some resistance from it. And like if I'm he and you have to think kind of like signal. If he's here and the points here, that's going to stop him, repel him, which that did.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
once there's something here like a human body,
Yeah.
it the radiation isn't getting him.
Maybe. I can see it. I went another way in my head as I tried to kind of argue the point. I'm like, they said at this point he's at the end of his feeding cycle, so he's at his max power. Like, so maybe he does have a little bit of punch where he can he can't confront you directly. Like, he couldn't punch that out of your hand or kill you while you're holding it. But he
Yeah.
can black phone 2, put the skates on and skate by in the background and Ethan Hawke you until one of you
Mhm.
falls down. Yeah, that was all right. What'd you think of that reveal though? With the Marge situation. Called her the wrong last name. The wrong last name.
Not the
What'd you
wrong
think of that?
her future last name.
Yeah.
It's not the wrong last name.
Did you like that? Did you vibe with that creative decision? Are you with that connecting things
It
that way?
he needed to do it with someone so you could find out, like, it was a means to an end, so you could find out that he's an interdimensional being that sees all timelines at all times. So he knows he's there with the kids, but when is it actually in his time? Does he also sees himself in 1935 right now, in
Simultaneously.
1908, in
Right.
1989, in 2016?
True. True, true. I guess that makes sense. So, I mean, I guess without connecting it that way, it does just become an exposition necessity to just be like, oh, and by the way, you know what I mean? So I guess that they worked that in all right.
And
That's
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 why
that's
I think
that's
you
really
could play it as a
good.
sequel, because
Yeah,
it's like, unless I take you out with him, knowing that if he kills her, there will be no
yeah.
Richie who
So
will be there,
yeah.
kill him in 2016.
See, you basically just Terminator 2 the whole it timeline thing.
Mhm.
We're gonna send another Pennywise back in time. We're gonna send the good clown back in time to protect Richie Tozier's great grandmother or something.
Actually, I was
Yeah.
thinking more of Bill and Ted, where he was like, "Well, time
Yeah.
will tell." Well, time already told. There's only
Right.
one of us will win. So we set up the cage and we set up the gun.
Yeah, here we go. Good work. They're taking it in a direction like that. I hope it just doesn't get all. I like this show existing on the level of making me think that I'm on. I don't want to have to consider grandfather paradoxes in this show going forward. So as long as they keep it simple, I'm good.
I don't think it would
Uh,
create a paradox because he's an interdimensional being.
yeah,
He would
and they could write themselves out of like the corner with that.
Yeah.
100%, 100%. Cool, dude. All right, I think that's gonna do it for us and it. Welcome to Derry season 1. Guys, if you've watched all of our reviews, I'd still tell you to go watch the show anyway, because there's plenty of visuals that we didn't touch on. I got a couple that I didn't even mention for this one that involves a bunch of missing kid posters that I thought was a really slamming visual when that came up. I won't blow the reveal of how that works. Um,
I did
King's
make
got
the
something.
I did make the joke when you saw that scene. I was like, "How long were you up in that tower?"
He's like, oh, actually, it's only been 5 seconds, and everybody in the gym is boned. Yeah, there we go. But yeah,
I was thinking about the time
outside.
of hanging all of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's just doing it one by one.
Yeah,
Just tape
yeah.
one. Yeah, no, it was solid. I like that. So some nasty visuals. If you're a gorehound, you're gonna find plenty to watch here. If you enjoyed the movies, you're gonna like it. I think these kids have rightly earned not being called the not losers club. They're very much
Even though he says,
a
"See you
gang of
later,
kids,
losers."
which was funny. I like that. Skarsgård is great as Pennywise. It's a defining role for him in horror now for sure. We know
Yep.
the dude's got range. We know he can do other things. He's Robert Englund though. I think people will remember him for this going forward. But anything you got to say about Welcome to Derry before we leave Maine for a hot minute?
I think this has a very touching story between Marge and Richie. I
Yeah,
think they were only together, they said a month. So you kind of find out the time, which was like an episode and a half for us.
yeah,
So
pretty much. It was fast.
so I think that was really good. And that's the other thing is that when they're talking about Pennywise, it looks like it's all done in like 3 to 4 weeks, where some of the Pennywise events happen over a year, year and a half.
Huh. Yeah, good
So
point.
there is a time dilation in there that they have to condense because, I'm not going to sit there for a month watching a month worth of every
No,
day in Derry. We're not watching every day
it's
in Derry. We're
it's
watching
not what
Welcome to Derry.
it's not Welcome to Derry 90210. I'm good. Like
Yeah.
you can time dilate or condense however you need there. But
But
you
I
liked
think
it. I liked it. Your wife liked it. That's solid.
Yeah, I like the story that it told and like how it had human beats to it. And the part where she finds one of the planes in Main Street, because he kept saying, I haven't got one to
Yeah.
Main Street yet.
Yep.
And there was one in a tree in
It was
Main
nice.
Street. So it was like it just kind of gave you that happy moment because you want to remember someone that you lost in happy times.
Yeah, for sure.
So
For sure.
I
That's why I
think
thought it
this
wrapped nice.
yeah, it was a slam dunk of a show. I thought it was really nice. I liked how this one was like trying to put him in his cage again. They
Yep.
said they're gonna there's something else they have to do in the 1935 one, and then there's the original, like how they get him to go away, kind of in the 1908 one. So I'm
Well, that's what I'm
looking
hoping
forward to
for.
seeing what these are, how they're gonna differ instead of just rinse, wash, and repeat.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like it just can't be there's a troubled kid who's kind of the heart of a group that actually finds friends that are also kind of outcasts. And I'm good with not seeing another racist sheriff. I don't need like they handled their social commentary in this one with just enough not on the
Well,
nose, in my opinion.
they are going further back in
But
time, and things were
but they
worse.
but do 100%, but it does not need to be the focal point of the show. And as long as they keep it at the level they're at, I guess I'm good. But I'm with you. I need to see the variation. Like it can't just be cage doors open, put them back in. Like this isn't a Godzilla movie. They don't all need to be the same. It can't just be, we got to get Jason Voorhees back under the water. It needs to be something else with Pennywise in it, terrorizing people in new and bloodily creative ways, dude. I've never seen so many half decapitations as I have in this show.
Yeah,
Show's crazy. That's like a sign. It's like a fatality now in
yeah.
Mortal Kombat. Like if they add that character, it's Pennywise ripping a skull in half
But that's where the
horizontally.
juiciest meat is.
Nasty, dude. That's nasty. It's squishy too. But yeah, all right, King. I think that's gonna do it for us. And welcome to Derry. Why don't you thank everybody and do your spiel?
All right, everybody. Thank you for sticking around as
Thank
we
you guys.
review this whole series of Welcome to Derry Season 1. We will be back for Season 2. That's right.
Absolutely.
The duo here will be back. We don't need credits to tell you that. So
Facts.
if you watched it before, it was during our weekly podcast episode, which is 9 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday night, to include Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve this year.
Facts.
Last year we did it on Christmas. Why would we stop on Christmas Eve? So here we
Saying.
go, everybody. Come and join us every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, and join in the fun. And we have our special 10, our membership going on for $2.
Don't forget.
And our first 10 get a special free gift mailed to them. So you still have slots left. I believe we have 5 right now of the
Yep.
paying members. So go ahead and jump in there, get those last 5 free gifts before we up the price for this free gift.
You
Because it
won't be
won't be free.
disappointed. It's a solid gift. You will not be disappointed. It's not stickers. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So thank you, everybody. That wraps it for me. Get us out of here.
See ya.